good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zack here, and today we're doing something a little different, but it's March Madness time, baby. I'm obsessed with March Madness and basketball, as you guys probably know, but we're gonna go through my own bracket here. I've always actually wanted to film my bracket, like my picks and like what I kind of think's going on. So I like to think I'm in tune with basketball, but really, it's March Madness. This is gonna be crazy anyway. So we're gonna go through it today. I'm just gonna break it down region by region, pick by pick. Go through just kind of like my gut feeling. I mean, I've kind of thought about things throughout the conference tournaments and stuff like that, but the bracket is crazy. This is going to be a wild year, so before we get into it, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, starting out east, obviously, UConn, the Huskies are crazy. This is definitely a year that I think a team could repeat. It's giving like Florida Gator vibes, like that double repeat in like 06, 07. So, I mean, they're going to get by Stetson, but like, also Stetson has a guy, Jalen Blackman. This kid, like, I think, honestly, if Stetson plays like any other like 1 or 2 seed, this might be a hot take, but like I think Stetson could cause some problems. I'm kind of sad they got the 16. I was hoping they could get like a 15, and I think they could definitely beat it too. With this kid, this Blackman kid is crazy, but hopefully we still get a good game. And I mean, if anyone's betting out there, take the under, take Stetson the money line. I don't know, just go for that. Next up, FAU Northwestern. One of my toss-up like first round matchup games. FAU's got Drynell Davis. Victor Golden as well. They play really good all together, and Northwestern has Boo Buie, another insane guard. I like both teams a lot. I mean, either team could potentially give UConn some problems. Personally, I don't know. I just feel like FAU is going to be a little too much with Golden on the inside and Drynell Davis, but I could definitely see Boo Buie dropping 45 and then just blowing past FAU. Next up, we got San Diego State and UAB. 5-12, everyone loves this upset, 5-12 pick. We all know how trendy it is. I'm personally fading this UAB team. I actually watch them a lot, Gaines and Lendenborg, like they are good. And I think it's gonna come down to Jadon Ladie for San Diego State and Lendenborg in the middle. But I think San Diego State's gonna get it done. I don't think UAB is gonna have enough efficiency, especially with San Diego State's suffocating defense. Like I think they got them. And then we go to Auburn and Yale. Another one that I think Yale could have done so much more damage if they didn't draw Auburn. Like, I think even if they go play Duke, I think if you scroll other parts of the bracket, just like the 4-13, I think they could give Bama some problems. I think with Kansas's injuries, they could give them some problems too. But I think Auburn is not a good matchup for them. I think they're athletic. They play very well, good offense, defense. And you saw them in the SEC tournament. They were blowing by people. So that's what I got there. Moving to BYU, Duquesne. I don't really like Duquesne, if I'm being honest. I think they're a little bit overrated. I mean, they got an 11, but like I feel like BYU, they burn almost everyone. Anytime you pick BYU, you're gonna get burned by them. But I'm gonna go with them because I don't think Duquesne's anything special, and I think BYU's got a lot of depth, and bench depth is pretty key as well with like being able to rotate guards, playing good guard play. So if BYU just plays decent, I think they should be able to beat them. Now this is a very interesting game, Illinois and Morehead State, because this is one that I don't think a lot of people are looking at Morehead State, but Riley Minix is a dude, and he can definitely take down this Illinois team, especially because Morehead State has traveled and played some big teams this year. They didn't win, but I mean, they went in to play Purdue earlier in the year. And I don't know. This is a sneaky one that I'm personally not picking, but I would love to see Morehead State take down Illinois. Illinois does have Terrence Shannon and Marcus Damask, two absolute dudes. Damask will post you up from the 3-point line and just back you down and hit this. You know the fadeaway is coming, and he's going to hit it in your face. So I like Illinois, and that next matchup is going to be crazy too. Washington State and Drake. I'm just not even overthinking this one. I'm just going straight Tucker DeVries. I think he's going to have a game. And the shots that this kid hit is like he hits the highest degree of difficulty shots. Like he shoots like 37, 38%, which some people might be like, oh, well, that's not like super high for a college player. But these shots are just insane. So I think they're going to win. Iowa State. I'm kind of iffy on Iowa State. I don't know. A lot of people kind of think, oh, they're like very underrated, but I mean they're gonna get by South Dakota State, but I don't know. I might be a little weary with Iowa State. As we move back up, yeah, we're just picking UConn, mainly because I think they're gonna be too much. FAU definitely has some like just some tendencies that I think could beat UConn with that guard play as well as Golden in the middle, but I think UConn's going to get by them. This one, I also honestly, I don't think it's going to be very close. I think Auburn is a nightmare for San Diego State. Athletically, offensively, they play defense too. Like, this is a team that I think San Diego State could have done pretty good because I love the way Ladia's played, but Auburn is just, I think they're going to blow them out of the gym. That's just my opinion, but we move down, BYU, Illinois, a very intriguing matchup, if I'm being honest, because I think BYU does the things that Illinois struggles to defend, but also Illinois does the things that BYU struggles to defend. So, like, if BYU can find a way to take Terrence Shannon or Marcus Damask out of the game, I think they can beat them. And this is honestly one that I could definitely see BYU winning this game, and I've gone back and forth so hard on this pick. But we're going to add a little spice because I think most people are picking Illinois, so BYU is going on. I don't even like BYU, but they burn me every year. They're going to do it again. Drake and Iowa State. This is another one that I think Drake could be kind of sneaky because Iowa State is dynamite on defense, but if Tucker DeVries, like, they're going to have to send bodies at Tucker DeVries because he could light them up in this game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Drake wins, but I think Iowa State's got this one. Now is also where things get a little spicy in the Sweet 16. This is where, unpopular opinion, but I think UConn goes down in this side. And let me tell you why. I think that athletically, Auburn is just going to impose something that UConn is just not ready for. Like, UConn will go through Stetson and FAU, but Auburn is just going to be like a 180 from those teams. They are going to get up, they're going to get into you. And I mean, it definitely wouldn't surprise me because UConn's the best team in the country if they just win this game. But I think Auburn's just going to take them down. And then BYU, Iowa State, this is a very intriguing one because they play in the same conference. BYU beat them at home, and then when BYU went to Iowa State, they had like a double-digit lead at halftime, absolutely got just the doors blown off them in the second half, and Iowa State comes back to win the game. But this is one that, I mean, if I really wanted to, I think BYU could definitely win this game. But BYU in March is not a good duo, so I think Iowa State will take down BYU. And then Auburn, Iowa State, I think it's Auburn. Like, I love how athletic and how good they play, and I think Iowa State, this is where I think Iowa State might struggle, is against a team like Auburn. Because they go through South Dakota State, they go through Drake, they go through BYU, but Auburn does basically everything that those teams don't do. Like, they can shoot the three, which BYU does, not at a great rate, but they shoot a lot. But they are also super athletic, play the best defense easily out of all the teams they've played so far. And I just don't think Iowa State's going to have any answers for them. All right, moving down to the West region, we got North Carolina, Wagner. Props to Wagner for winning that game. North Carolina's going to beat them, though. I don't know. I like North Carolina's team this year. I think people are kind of like, even odds I've seen are kind of like iffy on them, but I like what they got. Mississippi State, Michigan State, this is a brutal 8-9 game I don't even know if I'll be able to turn this one on. I think this is going to be ugly. I mean, Mississippi State did play really good. Sometimes in the SEC they have an active defense. But I think Tom Izzo and March has got to get at least one game, right? That's just what I'm going with. I'm not overthinking that game. I'm just saying Tom Izzo, all right, I'll give him the pass. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon, this is probably the game that has given me the most problem in the whole entire bracket. Like, my thing is, St. Mary's plays super great defense. They are pretty efficient offensively. They have Aiden Mahaney. They have the son of the inventor, the father of the Eurostep, Marcelonis. They play really good together. Grand Canyon, I know a lot about them because they're in the same conference as my college, and they did stuff to us every game, every time we played them. They didn't even play that well, but they just know how to play. In Grand Canyon, they're going to play just super good together. It's almost like a little style clashy because St. Mary's does not play fast at all. They play so slow, and I think the way you would beat Grand Canyon is to kind of speed them up. But Grand Canyon doesn't like to do that much. They will get out with Tyon Grant Foster, but I don't know, because Grand Canyon shoots like the most free throws in college. So if you're playing half court against them and they don't shoot a lot of threes, like Grand Canyon is not the best at threes, they want to attack you, and you're playing half court all the time, there's a lot of potential for fouls. So I think Grand Canyon's going to get to the line a lot, and this is going to be probably pretty, I don't know, but it's a little spicy, but I think Grand Canyon is going to take down St. Mary's, which is crazy because originally I really like St. Mary's. My problem with this is St. Mary's and Grand Canyon are teams that I think could go pretty deep with this side of the bracket, so I'm just going to give Grand Canyon. Alabama and Charleston, basically almost mirror images of each other. Charleston does it a little worse than Alabama does, but they just get up and they shoot the ball. Take the over in this one and the points. It's going to be like 110 to 108. I don't even know. They're probably going to score more than the Pistons can score, but I think Bama and their guards do it just a little bit better than Grand Canyon or than Charleston does. So moving down, Clemson, New Mexico. Oh baby, New Mexico. They have come on the scene. They have been kind of a sleeper through the Mountain West this year, which some people might say is overrated league. It seems like the competition's really good, and I love New Mexico. Mashburn, Dent, House, Toppin. Like, they have dudes, and I think the bracket has fallen really good for them too. So I really like this spot. Now, PJ Hall, Clemson, I think they could really take this team out, but I think New Mexico's hot. They just won the tournament. I think they got a lot of people riding with them too, so I think New Mexico takes that. Baylor, Colgate. You know, Baylor, Colgate. This is an interesting one. I didn't honestly look too much into this one. I know Baylor's got Jacoby Walter, who's a stud. Colgate, I know they play a lot of players. They're pretty deep in their rotation, but I don't think they're as good as some of the previous Colgate teams that I've seen. So I just went with Baylor, and I haven't thought much about it. Moving down to Dayton and Nevada, another very interesting one. Deron Holmes for Dayton is a dude. I think Dayton was supposed to be good this year, but they've kind of fallen off a little bit. And it's another one of those like pick-up ones, I feel like, because I feel like Nevada could have been the 7, Dayton could have been the 10 in this one. Jared Lucas scores like 18 a game for Nevada, so he's pretty good. I personally think Dayton's going to sneak this one out, but because Nevada finished second in the Mountain West, but they got eliminated right in the first game by Colorado State. So, but I mean, Colorado State's in the tournament too. They just won against, Virginia, come on. But yeah, I don't know. This is a pick'em game. Arizona, Long Beach State. It would be a cool story for Long Beach State to win that, but I don't think they're going to be able to get past Caleb Love. Now, Caleb Love has the potential to shoot 1 for 20 and absolutely kill them, but I don't think it's going to happen. Moving back up, North Carolina, Michigan State. Everyone's saying North Carolina is the most vulnerable 1 seed. I think they did probably get the toughest 8, 9. No, I don't know. They're all right. I don't think Michigan State's anything this year. They underachieved all year long, and I don't think they really got anything in the bag for this one. Grand Canyon and Alabama. This is very interesting because Grand Canyon, I think defensively can shut down Alabama because like 3-point defense. Grand Canyon might not shoot the 3 that well, but they definitely can defend. And Alabama plays 0 defense. I think Grant Foster is going to carve them up, especially a team that likes to get to the basket and the free throw line. If you can't play solid defense, Grand Canyon's going to be in the double bonus from like 4 minutes into the game. So that's why I think Grand Canyon is going to pull an upset. New Mexico, Baylor right here. New Mexico plays at that crazy tempo. They are all over the place. The guards will get into you. And Walter and Baylor's is an efficient offense, but this is another one where I think the bracket is kind of broken to allow some of these lower seeded teams to break through. And I think New Mexico and their guards and Toppin, I think they're going to take down Baylor. I don't think Baylor's got it in them. I just think Baylor's a little overrated for this year. So I haven't liked what I've seen when I watched them play. So I'm going to take New Mexico because they're kind of my Cinderella team this year. Dayton, Arizona. I think Arizona's got too much. I think the size that Arizona will have with Dayton will be too much. And although they play slow, I think Arizona's pace will be too much. Now, usually the slow and fast thing, like I think if Arizona was playing St. Mary's, I think there would be huge problems for Arizona, but I don't think Dayton will be able to do the same kind of things. Now, a team I did not really want to pick to get this far, North Carolina, is playing Grand Canyon, and I don't know. I've loved what I've seen when North Carolina plays, and yeah, they ran into a absolute red-hot, scorching NC State team in the title, but if they win the ACC title game, I don't think everyone's talking like this about North Carolina, so I think North Carolina is going to end up beating Grand Canyon, but that is going to be a great game. Armando Bacot again, and Grant Foster and Davis. I just think at the end, I think RJ is going to be too much for Grand Canyon, but you never know. That could be a really good game. Move down to New Mexico, Arizona. This is where Arizona meets their match, because I think New Mexico, it's crazy because New Mexico doesn't do things as efficiently as you want a deep tournament team to do. But like I said, I think the bracket is really broken for them. So I'm going to pick New Mexico. I think a lot of people are going to be riding kind of like this hot run New Mexico's on. And I mean, the Mountain West probably screw me over like it usually does, but that's what I got. And then unfortunately, I think this is kind of where North Carolina will be able to get them. I think people have been saying North Carolina had a bad draw, I feel like, and their team's not that good, but North Carolina is my Final Four team, and that also might come down to Burmy, but I think last time the Final Four was in Arizona or like Phoenix or something, I think North Carolina won. So like maybe a little luck on their side, but this is going to be a very intriguing game because New Mexico has the guards to hopefully slow down RJ and make someone else beat them. It's going to be a little bit chaotic. North Carolina will kind of try to change things up, but I think New Mexico doesn't shoot free throws as well as you might want them to shoot against a team like North Carolina, so that's where I think they might fall off in this one. All right, moving to the South region. Houston, Longwood. I don't know if you guys saw that crazy trend that like the last 3 years, there's been like a team with like a phallic name. I think it's so crazy. That would be actually insane if Longwood beat Houston. So I love the guards at Houston. We'll talk more about them in a second. Nebraska and A&M. A&M goes insanely slow. Wade Taylor's going to have to score every bucket. The Japanese Steph Curry, I'm not even overthinking that one because I think Nebraska should be able to play well enough and score well enough to beat A&M, but it's contrasting styles and usually the slower team wins, so it wouldn't surprise me if A&M wins. Now this is probably the second hardest or third hardest, like one of the hardest games right here, Wisconsin and James Madison. Wisconsin ended the season horribly. They finished 3-8. They were losing to every team they played. They had even their wins were not very good. Then they get in the conference tournament and they just steamroll. Like they are killing it. They almost win the whole thing. They just ran into red hot Illinois and they just couldn't contain Domask and Shannon. But I love what I've seen from Wisconsin recently. I love the guards, Chucky Hepburn. I love Storr. I love how he plays. Clement, they got guys, but they are horrible defensively, and they're not that efficient in what they do. And that's the problem, is they run into James Madison with their crazy duo, and James Madison, everything they do is efficient, defensively, offensively. They rebound, they shoot, everything they do is so good. Terrence Edwards is a phenomenal player. They turn you over and they don't turn the ball over, which is one of the best things in a March Madness team. So I'm picking James Madison here, and I'm not looking back because I think, especially because they have I think they beat Michigan State this year too. They have good wins, they have good experience, and a 30-win team, they're pretty good. So I'm gonna take them. Duke and Vermont, this is another one I haven't looked much into. Vermont has a balanced attack. They have a good defense. I think Duke's going to be a little bit too much for them. But is this even a good Duke team? I don't know. Filipowski, Roach. I don't know. Texas Tech, NC State. This is another one of those ones that's super weird to me because I think either one of these teams could beat a Kentucky team, and even this quad right here is super I don't know what is going on, especially because I just found out 15 minutes ago that Tyler Kolek is practicing 5-on-5 and going full contact, so it looks like Marquette is now looking a little more interesting to me. But Texas Tech, NC State, let's just talk about that. This one is definitely more my gut feeling. I think Texas Tech is the better team, and I probably think Texas Tech will win, but I'm going NC State because I watched them in the ACC tournament and they looked so good. Burns, the DJ dudes, DJ Burns, DJ, they play so good, they're hot, and a Kemba Walker, you want a story like this, 5 wins, 5 days, let's just keep it going, give them a win, so I'm gonna keep them rolling. Kentucky, Oakland, I don't know which Kentucky team's gonna show up, but I think they should be able to run up the score on Oakland, just because I don't know if Oakland can contain them. Kentucky, though, a lot of people are saying they're a dark horse, and me personally, I don't see it. So that's not how I see this going down. But I do see Kentucky winning that one. Florida playing the winner of Boise State and Colorado. I don't think I care that much who the winner of this play-in is, because I think both of them are going to beat Florida. I don't see why people are so high on Florida. I did like their run in the SEC tournament, but watching them play against Auburn, every time Auburn would do anything, they'd get so flustered. Okay, Florida would go down and get a bucket, but then Auburn would come back, get a steal, get a bucket, get a three. Like, they couldn't defend them. And unfortunately, Florida did lose that big. And I think Colorado wins this game. I might revisit it if Boise State wins, but Colorado is going to be a problem for Florida. And I think they're going to be a problem a little bit later, too. Marquette, Western Kentucky, I actually was tinkering the idea of Western Kentucky if no Tyler Kolek. But with that news, I mean, Western Kentucky is just so chaotic. Like, they just go. I think they have the highest tempo in the country. So I think Marquette would have struggled if Tyler Kolek wasn't there. But sounds like he's going to at least be able to kind of play. So I got Marquette. But I don't know. Could be an interesting 2-15 game. Houston, Nebraska. This is where an A&M defense is not even close to a Houston defense. And Houston's going to shut down any type of scoring, anything that Nebraska does. I don't think they're equipped enough to beat a defense like Houston, and the guards probably just going to tear them up. We go to James Madison and Duke. This is an interesting one because Wisconsin and Duke give me the same vibes, like teams that I think should be better, but that just aren't playing that well. Duke lost. Everyone keeps bringing this up. Duke lost twice to North Carolina this year. Quite frankly, I just don't think Duke is like mentally there. I don't think they got it this year, and I think James Madison as another one that's going to Sweet 16. I got multiple. I might have to rethink this, but no, I like this. I like what James Madison does, and I think taking down Wisconsin and then taking down Duke, like, they're going to show the world. I think they got guys offensively and defensively that can take this down. NC State and Kentucky. Like, I don't think anyone wants to play NC State right now. And Kentucky just doesn't do it for me. I went back and forth. I do ultimately think Kentucky's going to win this one, but I would be not surprised at all if NC State... Like, this is the thing. NC State can definitely make a run. And I think they have a little bit of not easier, but just like, I think with their momentum, I think they could beat some of these teams that aren't as like confident, I would say. But I think Kentucky gets by them. Colorado, Marquette. Quite frankly, I don't know. So people are saying if Tyler Kolek was healthy, this region looks pretty open for Marquette to do some damage in. But I don't feel it. I'm feeling Colorado. Specifically, if Boise State gets here, I don't think Boise State's got enough to beat Marquette. So I'm going to have to recheck it after tonight when the Colorado and Boise State plays. But I think Colorado, KJ Simpson is going to light these guys up. And I don't think Marquette can do enough. I think Colorado just does enough. And I think they've played really well, and they're hot. And I think they can take them down. That's probably a pretty hot pick right here. But I think that's the first 2 seed that's going to go down. Kentucky and hopefully Colorado. I think this is weird because I think if Marquette gets... There's a lot of things. If Marquette gets Florida or Boise State, I think Marquette beats them. And I think Marquette will definitely take down Kentucky. But it's Kentucky, Colorado. I actually think... I hate picking them. I don't think they're that good, but I think it breaks easier for Kentucky to beat Colorado because they both shoot threes. Like, they both just love to shoot the ball. I think Kentucky does it a lot better. I think Kentucky is better coached. And so I think in a game like this, Kentucky can do it. But I hate this because I think Texas Tech could even run through this. I don't like this bottom quad, but we'll move on. Houston, James Madison, I think this is where an efficient defense, a great offense meets the best defense, and I think Houston's going to take them down. I think they got the guards to handle what James Madison does, and I don't think they do enough. And then Houston, Kentucky, I think that's like an easy one for me personally. I think Houston is going to rout these guys. Maybe like 20-25. I don't know. I think this one's going to be ugly. I don't think Kentucky can do anything against what Houston has, even offensively. And then you stick this defense on Kentucky's players, and I don't think Dillingham, I don't think they got it. So Houston's going to my Final Four. All right, down to the Midwest, another region I kind of had some problems with, but this is a very interesting one. Purdue, they get by that 16. I don't think anything's happening between these two teams. Again, if Stetson was here, low key, I don't think I'd pick it, but that's kind of crazy. Utah State, TCU. Super kind of interesting one. TCU is fast. They are not athletic. Utah State is going to pound the inside of the paint. They're going to pound the paint. But they don't defend the three well. They don't shoot threes well. It's kind of a weird clashing matchup. They're so inconsistent that I'm going to take Utah State, but that's probably one I'll get wrong, but it is what it is. Gonzaga, McNeese, this sucks because McNeese is legit. They defend. They're athletic. They're like literally everything you want. But I think that Gonzaga, with the transfer of Ryan Nembhard, I think he's going to be huge in this game. I think Nembhard is going to be the factor that gets Gonzaga over this one. I know a lot of people picking that 5-12, but I prefer the Grand Canyon 5-12 because of the style clash. And I think Gonzaga has, they just have the talent with Ike and Watson and Nembhard to take down McNeese. But that's going to be a great game. As well as this one, Kansas-Sanford. This is one, I mean, I was eyeing it knowing even just the McCullough injury is huge. The Dickinson is, that one doesn't, I don't really care about that one this much because of what Sanford does. Sanford presses and just disrupts. Just, they are so feisty. And with no McCullough, I don't think Kansas is going to handle this game very well. They're down. They're not deep, too. Like, they're starting five. Kansas starting five is, like, one of the best in the nation. But without them, even just without McCullough, like, I think Sanford's going to take them down. I think they're going to press them the whole game like they always do, and I think they're going to take them out of their game. And Kansas won't have any answers. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on that one. All right, next up is South Carolina and Oregon. This is an interesting one. South Carolina, give it up to them. Props. They won like 10 games last year, but they're in the tournament. They defend, they guard pretty well. Oregon, though, I think they're hot. I mean, they got Dante is playing insane. He's playing some of his best basketball he's ever played. I think Oregon's just playing very well. I think this is kind of a trendy 6'11" as well. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought I had every 11 seed winning. Oh well. Oregon's going to take this one. It doesn't matter, though, because this next matchup, Creighton-Akron, I think Creighton is just too much for Akron. It's going to be interesting, though, Baylor Shireman and Enrique Freeman. I think that's a very intriguing matchup with Akron and also Akron's coach, LeBron James' old high school coach. I don't know. There's some interesting storylines there, but I love Creighton. I've loved them for a while, couple years, and I think they got some guys this year. So we'll talk about them in a second. But Texas, Colorado State. Texas is just not good on defense. They have had a roller coaster, weird season with some really good players that they honestly could, like, I could see them beating Colorado State, beating Tennessee, then playing the winner of this. But like, I'm so high on the Mountain West this year that I think Colorado State is going to take them down. I just watched them play Virginia last night, and they're looking just as good as they were looking in their tournament. And I think they just do the things that Texas can't stop. And that's some of these matchups are like they can't stop it, but they're really good at it. So I think Colorado State is going to score and just be able to get all over Texas. Tennessee, St. Peter's. The St. Peter's team just ain't the same. And Tennessee, I want them to do good because they always struggle in March, but I really want them to do good. So I think they're going to, not easily, but I don't think St. Peter's got it this year for them. Moving back up, Purdue and Utah State. Now, Utah State has a big that is going to be able to go against Zack Edey as well as a big can, but like, Purdue shoots the ball this year, and that's a huge difference. And I don't think Utah State will be able to do enough offensively or even defensively to slow down them. So that's where we go in there. Gonzaga, Sanford. This is interesting because I also think Sanford could do almost the same thing that they did to Campus, they did to Gonzaga, but I think Gonzaga is a little bit better built, and Ike and Watson again. I think they're going to be so big because I think Nembhard's going to handle everything. He's experienced. He's been playing really well lately for them. But I think Gonzaga will be able to get through this matchup. It's going to be a close one, too. I think it's going to be another really good game because of what Sanford does, but I think they can get by them. Oregon, Creighton. I think Creighton has the size and the wing depth and just the players that they'll be able to kind of just out-talent Oregon. I don't think Oregon will be able to do enough offensively and defensively. I do like Dante, but the matchups I think is a nightmare. If you just stack the players up, I think Creighton just is going to be able to take this one. And then Colorado State, Tennessee, kind of a weird one. I'm not super high on Tennessee again, but I think they're going to be able to get by a Colorado State squad that's pretty sick coming from the play-in. I know play-in teams do advance a little bit. It's kind of a trend, but I think that's how that one breaks. Purdue and Gonzaga, and this is where I think Purdue is going down. Because I don't think Gonzaga has the same kind of like pressure on them. I think they're different. They might not be as like talented, I think, some other years, like when they've had like Drew Timme and Chet, but like even the guard play, like it's just different. I think Gonzaga is a little different, and I think they are going to be able to. It's going to come down to Zack like and making threes, because Purdue has to make threes this season. I think Purdue's going to make a run. They got to bail Zack out, because he just can't. He's not going to be able to just go 30 and 15 every game in the tournament. He's going to get worn down. They do have a relatively easy draw, though, I would say Purdue, but personally, I think Gonzaga is going to take them down here. Creighton, Tennessee, I personally think Creighton is the most dangerous team in this bracket, and I think that it's another one of those like talent things. I think Creighton is going to be able to kind of out-talent what Tennessee does. Now, Dalton Knecht, like he is a player, so like I wouldn't be surprised if even Tennessee gets out of this region, no matter how I have it picked. But I do like Creighton to get by them, and then Gonzaga and Creighton. This is one of those interesting ones, because I almost wanted it here with North Carolina and New Mexico, because that would have been, or North Carolina and Arizona, because it's the Caleb Love reunion. Gonzaga and Creighton is going to have the Nembhard reunion, because Nembhard transferred from Creighton to Zaga. You got Alexander on him. This is going to be a phenomenal game. I think this is going to be the game of the tournament. And ultimately, I think that the size of Creighton is going to be the difference, and I think it's going to be a sour reunion for Nembhard, because I think Creighton is going to go on to the Final Four, and I'm so excited. If this happens, I'll be so excited. Even Carolina and Arizona, if that happens, I would be very excited to see that go down. But this is my Final Four. I kind of like how it broke out with Auburn, Carolina, Houston, Creighton. Now, if I had to like rank them on confidence, I would give Houston, I'm very confident. I feel pretty good in them, in their bracket. Then I'd go Auburn, because I think Auburn's real test is going to be UConn. And then I'd go Creighton. And then I'd go North Carolina. I'm really not very confident in North Carolina, but I feel like the way I think the bracket's going to break, like maybe their toughest matchup, they could get a St. Mary's here. They could end up getting Arizona, but I don't think Arizona does the things that could really beat North Carolina. Most likely Tom Izzo's going to beat North Carolina. I'm going to be wrong, but it doesn't matter, because I think Auburn's going to take North Carolina down. Again, athletically, and like defense and offense and guard play wins. And guard play is so crucial, and I think Auburn does it so well. Houston and Creighton, this is a very intriguing one, because I think Creighton is a team that could low-key expose some of the little things that Houston might take for granted at times defensively, because I think Creighton's offense is really good. But I think Houston will be in the finals, and they're going to take on Auburn in Arizona. This is a matchup, though, that I have just been like, it's just been rolling through my head, because I don't know if I'm going to go back on this. This is like the matchup, because you got Auburn's guards, you got Broome against Houston and Shed and Cryer, and I think this would be a phenomenal game. And this is a match I'm picking. Honestly, I love Auburn. I really love how Auburn's been playing, but eventually, I think Houston's going to cut down the nets. I think it's their time. I really want Shed and Cryer. I want this kind of defensive-oriented team to actually make it, and I think athletically that they should be able to shut down the guards as much as you can. Who really cares about the score? 64-60, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but I think Houston's cutting down the nets, baby. That's what I'm going with. I love Auburn. I do want UConn to go back-to-back, but I don't know. This is kind of how I think it broke out, and I'm so excited. March Madness, baby. Let's get it. Let me know your champion picks. Let me know like some upset picks, things you hated about my bracket, things you loved about my bracket, all that good stuff. But March Madness is here, baby. Let's get it. See you guys on the next one.